Hey, it's me, Gene Farrell, back from 3 to Skill with another update for the LipTalk plugin. Today I want to introduce the new info panel and the new attack parameter. So the attack parameter is a value, is a frame value, so it determines how fast or how smoothly the slider of a specific phoneme gradually fades in. Maybe if an A is detected with the strength of 0.6, then it looks in the future, and if you have an attack time of 6, then it looks in 6 frames in the future and gradually fades the slider up to this strength value, in a range of 6 frames. So let's have a look at this figure here. Here we can see the phoneme slider for the A phonemes, A sounds here with a strength axis and the timeline here. And let's say an A is detected at frame 15, yeah, and we have an attack time of 6 frames, then the value begins 6 frames earlier to gradually fade in the slider. And let's say we have also a frame here, a value here at frame 35, an A, and let's say the attack time is much higher, then the release time, gradually fades the slider out, and then here at frame 20, the A of the next phoneme wants to sets the value to 0 here and gradually fade in, but then he would instantly sets the value to 0. This would be results in very choppy animations. So there is a algorithm inside of the LipTalk plugin. So the A attack time waits as long as the release value is lower than than the release than the value of the attack time. So we get a smooth transition bit at the crossfade point here. So that was everything here for. Let's jump over to Cinema 4D and have a look at this scene here. We have a female character. She is an Asian character. She speaks very quickly and fast. So let's listen to her.
私は日本出身で、名前はユキです。現在、サンデオスキルのリップシンクプラグインを試しています。
As we can see here, we have an attack time of 4 frames, and this was a default attack time in the previous versions. So, but it was always 4 frames now, and now I implemented a dynamic, a procedural attack parameter. So now you can have more control over the animation. Let's say she speaks very quick. Maybe we need a little bit faster response. The slider should fade in more quickly. So we can set here 3. If I set 0, you can see it looks very ugly.
私は日本出身で、
A phoneme is detected, abruptly sets the value to the strength, and then goes back with the release time, though this looks pretty awful. So we need here of at least 3 frames. So 3 frames looks a little bit more harsher.
私は日本出身で、名前はユキです。
And you get a little bit more response here. And 4 looks a little bit smoother here.
私は日本出身。
Also 5.
私は日本出身で。
But if the attack value is too long, then the slider overlap. You can see they mix.
私は日本。
So there are 3 sliders simultaneously open, so she can't close the mouth anymore because the E is open and the O is open. So then you need a little bit more release time maybe. So it's a thing to find here the right balance between the attack parameter and the release time. Maybe if you give it more release speed.
私は日本出身で、名前はユキです。
But as you can see, too much attack time doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So
私は日本出身で、名
the mouse is always open because the release time, and yeah, this is not very good. So here is the thing to find the right balance. So I think here values between 3 and 8 is okay, but if you have a higher frame rate, maybe 60 frames per second, just for instance, then you can give the character more attack time because you have more frames to choose from. Yeah, because you have more frames per second, you can set the attack time much quicker, much longer. Yeah. So let's demonstrate this here quickly. If you have attack time here of, I think LipTalk works not good for frames which are higher than attack time, frames per second which are higher than 60 frames. So let's have a look how this looks like. It looks too much attack time here. This is. You see, we have more frames per second, and it looks pretty harsh. So we can give it much more attack time here. As you can see, you give it more release speed and more attack. Because we have 60 frames per second, you have to give it more attack time, also higher attack, so more frames, and a higher release speed, and then it looks pretty the same as it was with 30 frames per second. Okay, let's switch back to the 30 frames per second, but my advice is do not rely on this timeline here, because this frame rate is sometimes, if you have big scenes, the frame rate is not very good. Don't rely to that. So simply check the animation by rendering a preview here. It renders pretty quick, and then you have you can check the result much better. So it has finished rendering, and as you can see here, so here we get a much better overview how the animation looks like. And so what I also forgot to say here or to mention is there's also a new duration info now in LipTalk. So you get an exact duration of the length of the animation. Maybe here you can see the animation is 11 seconds and 11.63 seconds long, 348 frames, and then you can hear it calculates automatically the playback range. You can set here the playback range from 0 to 348 or something. Yeah, it's not exact, but it's as long as the audio file takes here. If you change here the sync start, also here you can see the playback range changes. So when you have to set the start point and the end point, when it should be active. And the same goes for the text mode. Also here, it calculates automatically the playback range, the length in seconds and in frames. And if you increase here the speed, so the speed value is now inverted, so it's no longer a speed value, so it's more a duration. Maybe I renamed this, I set it duration speed. So this is more, if you want that the animation takes more time, it's longer, then you have to increase the value. If you want that it's shorter, then you have to reduce the value. So this is, in the previous versions, it was a speed. The higher the value, the quicker it talks and so forth. But now you can get a really exact maybe you have an animation. Let's turn this out, mute this. As you can see, maybe you need an animation exact which takes which starts at frame 0 and ends at frame 120. Then you can increase, of course, the duration. And then you can see exact the playback range. So you can see 120, about that. And then you have the exact speed for this animation. Josie speaks, and here she ends speaking. So this is much better now, yeah, than in previous versions. Yes, this was everything for the attack parameter. I hope you have fun, and yeah, wish you a nice day and see you later, and goodbye.